Hey everyone, Jocular Claymore here, and welcome back to Dawntrail. Last episode, we traveled to the Hanu village of Kozomauka, where we took part in the Ihihana festival. We helped the folks there patch up their parade float, which looked like a big bird. Book Lamont took a ride in it, and we helped restore their crops. And we got an elector to give us their approval, so that is one task down. In this episode, we're going to go talk to the Belu and travel to their village. Now, the Belu, as I understand it, are filthy capitalists. They are business-minded folk. This should be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it and head on over to Urkobacha. Oh yeah, and before we start, we're getting a surge of players, so now the servers are getting congested. And the number of players in the queues are now going over 1,000, sometimes over 2,000. And I've been hearing reports of some people getting disconnected, so hopefully it doesn't happen to us. But with that out of the way, let's talk to the approachable Belu. I've been waiting for what feels like days, and eaten enough of Brukevlu's tacos to feed an army. Yeah, we still gotta get those tacos. What is it you'd like to know? Our main concern was confirming the state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urkopacha, we depart from the Arch of the Dawn, then take the road west at the first fork. Should we be wary of anything along the way? That is indeed the way to Urkopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. But do take heart. When it comes to rugged terrain, we have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. Alright. And we see other NPCs here with quest markers. I might do the side quests for a separate video. I'm not sure yet, but for now I want to get through the main story. I want to see that city of gold. I want to see those tacos. In no particular order. There they are, by the alpacas. May I introduce you to our most dependable companion, the alpaca. Oh, we're gonna ride them! Nice. Yeah, I don't think Lamont likes alpacas. These animals can traverse Urkopacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, and all while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Yoctural. Eorzea has its chocobos, and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack beast in a place which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? Okay, Aaronville, we get it. Thank you. But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. Okay, we were close. I thought one had bitten her or something. Haha, I see. What do they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. We're really doing this then. So, was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. Of course you would. You want me to pay you? I guess I shouldn't have expected as much. I guess I should have expected as much from a Belu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. The Belu value the act of spreading joy through trade, as you should know. They take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. Okay. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes! I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Off you go then, and thank you. Also, I think they had mentioned that the Belu look like children, but they're little people, so I'd better not get spit on again. You brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. I'm still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to reach Orcopacha, then that's what we'll do. There we go.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urcopacha, the 100 peaks of time.
I love how he rolls his R's.
Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty.
Valigarmanda.
Yet with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Serpent, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
Turral, stuff like that. Urcopacha. And here we are. Being a Spanish speaker helps with those R's.
So this is Urcopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear. Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som Al.
Yeah, somewhere we've been before. In Eorzea, I think.
That is Workor Sormor, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Turral. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Now, if we could fly, that would be a lot easier, but we need to unlock the ether currents first.
Oh? Do tell.
Yes, do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Wuk Lamat, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places.
Who are you?
But I should introduce myself. I am Bol Nok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Watrin Pello.
Oh, truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal, you say? Hmm.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
It's an Urcopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Alcohol.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end.
You never drink and do business.
But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Turral. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
And the character models look fantastic.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu Pelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliolal. Pelu Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Turral, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, And many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Watchun Pello's down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
I didn't have a subtitle. Alright, let's get on our mount. Chocobo, chocobo, chocobo. I'm a chocobo. You're in a chocobo. Southwest. Can we get that real quick? Yeah, I'm using a compass to find ether currents. When you find all the ether currents in an area, you can fly around. So it's worth getting. Oh, it's up there. Excuse me, alpacas. What's funny is that off camera, I went back to the Hanu village to try to get all the ether currents there to make traveling a lot easier, but your progress is blocked off by mountains and stuff that you can't cross on foot. So I have a feeling that we're gonna have to progress in the story. Those sneaky devs, they are not letting us cheese this the way we want. Anyway, let's get back to our MSQ, main scenario quest. This is it, Wanchun Pelu, home of the Pelu Pelu. Wuklamant should have arrived before us. That's not good. What's not good? You've come all this way for the rite of succession. Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn Servant. Please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. Oh, she's so modest. How fortunate, then, that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell stuff to us. And a nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady, that's right. Come, Third Promise, my well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady? I like the sound of that. No, they're flattering you, don't fall for it. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. And Aaronville's like, stop. What did we just talk about? Aaronville, when did you... Ah, a Shatona from far-off Shaktural. Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survive them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the Third Promise. Perhaps another time. Of course, of course. My shop door is always open. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Belu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Wuklamant fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. Your only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. Yeah, that usually works, in real life too. A valuable insight into the minds of the Belu Belu. Let us all take Aaronville's words of caution to heart. Alright. Yeah, so my bias is going to be showing here because on the one hand you have the Hanu village, right? And they're jolly, festive folk who just want to throw a parade and a festival, whereas the Belu here are just capitalists, essentially. But I will try to keep my biases in check. Alright, Wuklamant, what do you got? Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do, find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy then. Kryl, Alizé, and I will speak with the merchants. Wicklamat, you and Erenville might try approaching travelers and passersby. Odd, pray investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Alright, we'll have to attune to that. Etherite. Awesome. Alright. First we have the distillery worker. The Dawn Servant's Elector? Ah, I thought you were a new face in town. Here for the right of succession, I take it? Me? I don't much care who sits the throne so long as they keep Tural peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. Oh right, yes, you were asking about that Elector business. Yeah, it looks like Odd went ahead and said no. That's a good girl. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger, Tobli, could probably tell you more about it. Alright. Impatient Porter. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zoral Ja. If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers. In the thousands column, potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Yeah, if I recall, Zoral Ja, also known as the First Promise, is the quiet one with the servant who follows him around and speaks for him. And Kryl had a vision that basically Zoral Ja seems to be a warmonger, so we don't want him to win because he'll start wars and conquests and stuff. Others have been coming around to my way of thinking, so I've begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? Please just answer my question. No, I would not. Yeah, we're going to be firm and direct. Very well. You said you wanted to know about the Elector? I could help you, but I won't. I can tell you're no supporter of Zoral Ja or his policies. Well, you can go to hell. Good day. Mablu. Hello there, I'm Mablu. Did you have a question for me? Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. These people. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you, and that stuff stinks. It happened to a visiting buyer not so long ago. Tobli, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. No one makes a mistake without Tobli noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. And speaking of which, where is Tobli? You really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets, and then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobli is the man to talk to about the contest. Now, if only they'd share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher? Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay it a visit before the others return. Alright. We're gonna cut through these cliffs here, and then whee! You know, I don't think I've ever had mezcal before. We gotta change that. That is a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. Not to say that I'm scared, of course. Ah, you're in pink. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobli? Tobli? Oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobli often mentions his favorite pungent subjects. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. So it's like a game. Easy enough. All I have to do is offer Tobli a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. I bet Mob lose Tobli. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobli. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. Great. We can meet back here to share our impressions. Something tells me this is going to cost us, literally. Mablu? Well, obviously I'm not Tobli. I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobli is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Alright. How about you, boastful ranch hand? You think I might be Tobli? Well, maybe I am. All I will say is that in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. Alright. Nonchalant ranch hands. Am I Tobli? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the third promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence the rite of succession then? I'm gonna press X to doubt. Diligent ranch hand. By the way, if you're wondering, so I have an auto run feature, right? And then I do this little trick where I spin around to stop the auto run. You could just press left bumper to stop yourself, but I like doing the spinny for some reason. Anyway. Ah, a visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest you keep your movements slow and deliberate. So let's wait here. I see we're both done with our interrogations. So, who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. I don't know. The nonchalant? He seemed unconvincing to me. But if that's your choice, then that's who we'll talk to. Tobli, I offer you a deal. The truth of who you are in exchange for a tidy sum. What do you say? I say hand over the coin. The truth is, I'm not even a ranch hand. I just like to come by and watch the alpacas. What? You don't even work here? I knew I should have gone with my gut on this one. But now's not the time to mourn wasted coin. We need to regroup and think this. This theme, by the way, for some reason it reminds me of those commercials. What are they called? H.G. Wentworth? H.G. Wentworth? 877 Cash Now? Like one of those Cash Now commercials. The jingle sounds similar, but anyway. I guess the diligent ranch hand? Ah, the worker's so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip the mask off our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Dobli, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, I am indeed Dobli, head ledger of Wanchumpelo and head rancher of the family ranch. I am also one of Gulu Jaja's chosen electors. Aha! In a place featured in the Tuliolal saga, just as we thought. Though it took more coin than I would have liked to know for certain. There's Mablu. She found you out fair and square, Dobli. And I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all.
Koza Zora Jaja.
Zorolja.
Zoroja. It's only one Ja, not two.
I am told the head ledger, Dobli, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Dobli. That's part of the test.
Oh no, is he gonna make threats?
You're Dobli.
He just like psyched out one of them so that they turn their eyes over to Dobli. Man, okay. Intimidation checks, I guess.
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed. With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dawnservant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered a number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
Something tells me it's not just any alpaca.
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example!
The example? Oh, so cute. Llama face!
This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Oh, this should be good.
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
Ooh.
Ah! The little monster spat on me! Oh, that stinks. I can't.
Oh shit, knocked her out.
Alpacas are paradoxical creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit. as you've all just witnessed. Has an awful stench, their expectoration. The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Poor Wooklamat.
Wild valley breed like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but beatable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell.
Man, I hope this isn't like those those annoying mini games in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth where you have to round up a certain chocobo in every region in order to travel by chocobo. And those mini games in particular are super frustrating. Alright?
And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Okay, Donald Duck.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
I guess we'll see.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
Are you all right, Wooklamat? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
Scream, in other words.
Shut up, Aaronville.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
Catch an alpaca. Got it. Yeah, so real quick, because I forgot to comment on this in another episode. So, well, in the first episode, we speak to the Emperor, right? Wooklamat's father, who gave us the task of the Rite of Succession and all that. And he had called Wooklamat Lamite, I think, the childhood name. And then he was also going to... And then he was addressing Aaronville. He was about to call him something else, and then Aaronville corrected him and said, "Oh, I go by Aaronville now." And then, without skipping a beat, the Emperor was like, "Okay, Aaronville then." So it's not that hard to use a person's preferred name. That's all I wanted to say about that. I had to go and wash that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. But would you mind taking a sniff for me, just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. Hey, I saw that look. And we leveled up. 91. Yeah. Cool. Erinville wishes to discuss the feat of gold. As Wuklamad helped demonstrate, the Valley alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful. Give me one of those then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 bell in the thousands column. You mean 10,000 bell? I don't have that kind of coin. Converting to gil, that comes to around 1,000,000 or so. Maybe if we all pitch in? 1,000,000 gil? I ain't even got that. I got like over 300 grand, that's it. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money, somehow. In that case... That basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier, 1 bell in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. That's a nice gesture, but you think I can turn 100 bell into 1,000,000? That's 10,000 times. That's 10,000 times more. We need 10,000 bell, not 1,000,000, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right. I panicked and got it confused with Alphino's million gil. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal making. Oh, hello again. It's Mablu. Mablu, I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. And you should meet my brother, Pablu. It's alright if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants towards the first step of the feat, like you asked. As long as Wuklamad goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Hooray! Let's see about getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made it your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. She's probably going to charge us for her services. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. Yes, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mablu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly. Although odd, I think you should go with Wuklamad. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over, and surely have sage advice to share. Well, I'll do my best. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I'd do such a thing. But I'll leave the wool with Odd anyway. The better to keep my hands free. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havli, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. Okay. Toggle! He's a good boy. Probably. Something I can do for you? We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. And what might that be? Mezcal. I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us, Third Promise. Such mezcal can be had for only 5 bell in the thousands column. Hold on. Did you say Third Promise? Then my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. Oh my god. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 bell or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zorojal will go to war, and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. No, we don't want war. We don't want Zorojal to win. It's nothing personal, Third Promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. Well, shit. Can't say that I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. That is so real and so true. Like, war is profitable. It really is. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Belu pray for your victory, Wuklamat. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from these horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. That is also so real. Wow. Still, others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the Second Promise envisions. They become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. Yeah, and the Second Promise is Kona. He's like the scientific, pragmatic one. Surprised we haven't seen him here. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the First Promise's plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. But what about you, Mablu? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yokhui ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn Servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the saddle maker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expecting to need 10,000 bell from the outset? Nothing's changed, we just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with the piece of Duliolala on the line. Gotta love her. Then neither will I. We will make you Dawn servants. Aiming for that 10,000 bell jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration, so let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Oh. I forgot his name already. Book something? Of course, the Weaver. Bolnok was his name, I believe. Yeah. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision and he was here to buy wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now let's head back to that road where we first met him. Oklama and Mablu. This is the spot. After Bolnok talked to us, he walked off to the south. Then he was probably going to Ikuvlo's Inn. Most visitors to Wanchunbelo end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? Snowman again. But yeah, and like I said, I don't remember ever having mezcal, but I would try mezcal. I like drinks more for flavor than, you know, how shit-faced I'll get. Can I have that basket, Odd? Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. Bolnok, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise, you wish to do business with me? Might I ask what this is all about? I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal? Then allow me to invest in your efforts. Peace in Tural is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Maybe we could try wearing a poncho, that would be cute. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 bells in the hundreds column. Yeah, I'm still not sure how that math works. So someone needs to explain that to me. That's very generous, Bolnok. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Odd remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now, let's take our 500 bell poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, Odd, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Erenville would never let me hear the end of it. All set? Our next deal is waiting to be found. Excellent trade. Success! You traded a 100 bell basket of alpaca wool for a 500 bell wool poncho. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They aren't wearing one? They have a fabulous sense of style. I mean, if the Wolf of Wall Street taught me anything, it's this one, that just because they don't have what you're selling them makes them want it more, or something like that. That's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So, where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. I guess it's morning now. We heard that bird. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mamuja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Mamuja who soldier for a living prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. So even if they have bare shoulders, Mamuja carrying arms can be struck off the list. Yeah, I see now we're in first-person perspective. Okay, find a potential customer. Hard bidden, Hubigo. Resting Hubigo. Sweaty Dobro. Disconcerted Hubigo. And then I guess we can ask Mablu for help. Well, it looks like resting Hubigo is already wearing a poncho. Hard bidden, so they may be harder to sell too. Sweaty. Well, a poncho is supposed to keep you warm, right? So it wouldn't make sense if you're sweaty. And then disconcerted. Let's see what Mablu has to say. Tell me, who among these gathered travelers do you think might be amenable to a proposal? So professional fighters like those of the Landsguard would have little interest, though the same could be said of any Turali who prioritizes ease of movement in their work. I don't know, the resting one? This one's already fully dressed. An artisan or peddler, perhaps? Come to rest after visiting one Chinfellow like Bolnock would be my guess. Alright. Hard bidden, sweaty, disconcerted. Let's talk to you. Let's see. No coat or cloak, but also no weapon? Oh, we might have a winner. Okay. Hello there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here, and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a toolmaker from Duliolao, and was dressed quite smartly, all the better to show the Belu I'm a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now look at me. I mean, I don't think it's ever this easy to find the right customer that you need. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. I also love how no matter what the object is, you just hand it over, like, and have an empty palm out. Doesn't matter what it is. What a splendid poncho! This would be the perfect replacement for the coat I lost. We'd be willing to part with it if you'd like to make a trade. For one of your fine tools, perhaps? What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. Well, I'm also a blacksmith, so maybe I can appraise it somehow. The blade looks sharp, the haft well made. I'd value it at 1 bell in the thousands column. Oh, from 500 to 1,000, we have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Belu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Miplu's mate garden, for one, her field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's mate garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. Yeah, of course, Wicklamat doesn't like that. These ones will be the calm type, right? I don't know. Excellent trade. Excelente. All right. Mablu. Well done recognizing that toolmaker as a potential customer. If you've a mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. Wuklamach steels herself for the ride to find your next trading partner. Before we get moving, you should be the one to hold this. With that, I suppose we should hop on the alpacas Mablu has so kindly provided. Ready to go? Let's mount up. Yeah, let's ride the alpacas. Oh my god, yes. Oh, it's automatic too, I'm not even moving. Please don't spit, please don't spit. You'll be fine, these ones are accustomed to people. I still don't trust them. You have a knack for riding, no matter what you say. Without our alpaca friends, we Belu would never have become traveling merchants. Can you imagine walking all the way across Tural? I swear that mountain is too tall to be real. Workor Zormor. Wasn't that the name? A forbidding sight, isn't it? One I've never appreciated up close. You have to take the long way around the cliffs to get there, to the highlands belonging to the Yokbui. And we're discovering new locations as we go. So Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession. You don't care for ranch work? No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. But becoming a peddler has always been a dream of mine. It's just, I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy the taming saddle, though, then it'd be proof that I can do this after all. In that case, you'd best get ready to be a merchant. Look, we're almost there. Meet Blue's Mate Garden. We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to Ikulvlo's inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Speaking of roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn servant, weren't you, Third Promise? That I was. Then perhaps you understand. I was an orphan too, you see. Dobley took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. All of them? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity. Yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you're to prepare for the feat of gold. As it's mate harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatchets. Add to that Wuklamach's way with people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Miplu herself over there. Pass the hatchet to the Third Promise and let's get to bargaining. Alright. You have that little axe for me? Technically a hatchet. A fine hatchet. Thanks. Now to see what we can get for it. You're Miplu, the owner of these fields? I have a mind to trade if you're interested. Well, the Third Promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have in offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan, the razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in return. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. I wonder if it's mate leaves or mate leaves. Oh. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 bell in the thousands column. the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the mezcal. If I may, Mistress Meatblue, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? It is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. We've missed the window for demand. In that case, we'll have to fall back on connections. Think of it this way. A generous deal here will put you in the third promise's good graces. Surely that's worthy of consideration. I do not wish to give offense, but I must tell you that I stand with the second promise. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives, I believe, including farming, and I will no longer have need of hatchets. I assure you that I have nothing but respect for Wuk-Lamat. That is why I am preparing to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. I suppose it is fair given your reasons, but we ourselves would be no better off for the transaction. How about this then? If we were to help bring in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? As a matter of fact, I would. Until Kona's reforms come about, I can always use more hands in the fields. Then you can go ahead and add our labor to the bargain. Added value to tip the scales. How could I have forgotten one of the most basic rules of trading? You can rest if you like, Mablu. Odd and I have mate to gather. Oh no, I'm helping too. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. Alright, let's gather some leaves. Or seed. Here they are. That's 1. 2. And then the other 3 are here. Alright, that makes 5. Got your stuff. You brought me some leaves then? Sure did. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions, though. Here, we've brought our share as well. Thank you, Third Promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine. After adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet, I am prepared to offer you a full sack of our highest grade mate leaves. Premium mate! Bought at the shop, 1 sack of those leaves would cost no less than 5 bell in the thousands column. Then we can bid farewell to this hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutually agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. See ya! Mablu, what's wrong? It's as I was saying before. Even after everything Thobli's done for me, I'm planning to abandon it all and become a merchant. But then I needed your help after forgetting a basic rule of trade. How can I expect Thobli to accept my decision then? Have you mentioned your plans to leave, so you intend to give up then? I don't like either option, to be honest. We'll go with this one. Not exactly. I wanted to prove I could succeed as a peddler before I declared my intentions. I seek to follow my father's footsteps. but not because he expects it of me. I want to preserve Durao's peace, and becoming Dawn Servant happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dobli held the same opinion, so talk to him. You're right. It's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thank you for the advice. But first, we have a saddle to buy. I want that success under my belt so I can be sure of my decision. What's next then? We try to trade our tea leaves for something halfway to 10,000 bel? No, I think we're close enough now. I say we go straight for the premium mezcal. Bargain our way into double the value, eh? Think you can do it? Trust me, I will make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such strong competition for the throne is inspiring. Am I really holding my own against Kona and Zoroja? I mean, of course I am. I'm Wuk-Lamat of the Dawn's Promise, after all. Alright. We're making headway. Excellent trade. Cool. Now what? Oh my god. Oh man, it was brief, but that chocobo was wearing a poncho and I think a sombrero, and there was a cactuar on it. It's really cute. Before we go, let me give you the mate leaves. I don't need to risk proving Erenville's point. Ready then? Our next stop is the Mezcal Distillery. Ooh. Sea Blue's coffee grounds. Yeah. Oh, coffee. It's over here, and then oh, it's Swanchun-Fellow. Oh, we could travel over there. Oh, that's where we started. Gotcha. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at this scale and everything. This is incredible. We'll want to speak with a man by the name of Gobli. Even among his fellow distillers, he is regarded as a master of the craft. He knows the value of his product, so if we're going to convince him to trade for twice what the leaves are worth, we're going to need targeted information. That means asking around and taking in the gossip. If you could talk to people here in the distillery, Odd, perhaps Wuk-Lamat could do the same at the village entrance. Meanwhile, I'll head to the north side and see what I can learn. Sounds good. Okay. You. Me? I'm a chef from Tuliolav. I often come here to buy Gobli's mezcal, and the finest in Dural, according to my customers. He always brings out a jug during our dealings, but I can't handle the stuff too well myself. I take small sips, not wanting to be impolite, you understand, but still end up so addled as to agree to whatever price he quotes me. It would be nice to have less, potent refreshments during such conversations, else I might have to seriously reconsider our arrangement. I'm sure that's a tactic even in of itself, to get your buyers drunk so that they're more agreeable to things. But, you know, that can't work with everybody. Gobli might be a deft hand at distilling, but he's got no sense when it comes to appearances. Rumor has it he's been invited to the palace for business negotiations. If he presents himself to the court wearing his usual rumpled attire, though, he'll be laughed out of Sunperch. Okay, so, not a man of appearances. There's not much I can say about Gobli, but I can tell you what Gobli's been saying. The other day he was muttering about monsters prowling around Agave Jaws. That's the field where they gather ingredients for the mezcal. The presence has made it harder to procure said ingredients, and thus driven up the price of his product. A boon, some might argue, but it's hard to celebrate when it affects the work as it does. Can't really bring joy to people if you can't keep making the things they love. And it's getting to be nighttime. So, what did you find out? Oh, we can make use of all those tidbits. The deal is as good as sealed. As for me, I found out where Gobli is working. There's a millstone at the top of the slope behind the distillery. You go on ahead and I'll bring Woklamont. Mr. Worldwide, excuse me. Oh yeah, I like this mount. It's cool. It's a bunch of fireballs holding a kind of seat. Yeah, they really went all out with the vertical layout of the maps. You gotta climb higher to places. Oh, and they have striking dummies here. This is where you can practice your combat and stuff. You have business with me, madam? Why don't we talk down below so as not to distract the alpaca from his work? Oh, that alpaca. Now what's this about? Keep it brief if you would, I'm a busy man. We're in the market for a 3-year-old jug of premium mezcal, assuming you have any on hand, that is. Ah, an excellent choice. I must warn you though, it doesn't come cheap. We don't have pel, but we can offer a sack of mate leaves in exchange. It's top-grade stuff, like the mezcal. No deal. Mate leaves are well and good, but I don't have any use for them. No deal. Just like that? Still, I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. Why don't we sit and chat a while over a cup of mezcal? No, here it is. Now the real bargaining begins. Which of our cards do you want to play first? Oh, don't ask me that stuff. Oh well, I guess we can use what we learned in the village against it. The Hubigo chef's distaste for strong drink, Gobli's invitation to the palace, the monsters in the agave fields. I don't remember all of these, to be honest. We'll go with the invitation. Let's hold on to that one. We need to consider our timing. Okay, the monsters. Let's hold on to that one. Okay. I guess we gotta stay relevant. So he had just mentioned drinking. So let's go with that one. I appreciate your hospitality, but I'm afraid I can't hold my drink. I've heard one of your regular customers, a Hubigo chef, is the same. Seeing as not everyone can enjoy mezcal, I wonder if you might benefit from having other refreshments to offer. Something like mate tea, for instance, and brewed from the finest leaves, of course. Clever. Ah, you're right, absolutely right. I had noticed a growing reluctance on the part of my Hubigo friend, but did not realize I myself was to blame. I must endeavor to be a better host. Still, even with that added value in mind, no sack of leaves is worth the mezcal you're after. Should we offer to call the monsters, causing them trouble? No. Not yet. We'll keep that card up our sleeve until we need it. As I expect you're aware, the rite of succession is currently taking place. That's why the third promise has graced us with her presence. When the contest is decided, the subsequent ascension ceremony and banquet will be a prestigious affair. If your mezcal were to be served there, it would bring your distillery immeasurable fame. Wait, could it be that your rumored invitation to the palace is to discuss that very possibility? As a matter of fact, yes. I must admit, I'm still reeling from the abruptness of it all. It will be a great honor and opportunity, if I can secure the deal. Well, I should think your exceptional mezcal would speak for itself. That said, there's no such thing as being too prepared, and first impressions last. You'll want to be wearing your very best when you walk into Volok Shunsa. It would be such a shame to miss this chance of a lifetime simply for want of proper garments. I see what she's doing. That it would. Are you saying you have garments to offer? Something ideal for court? We have no garments on hand, I'm afraid, but we can provide you with the next best thing, an introduction to a weaver. His name is Bolnok, and his works are highly regarded in Guliolal. As a supporter of Wuklamat and keen observer of palace politics, he will doubtless be happy to guide you in the selection of an outfit to fit this golden occasion. That is certainly a tempting proposal, and one of which I should like to take full advantage, but the scales still aren't quite balancing. Say, weren't there monsters running amok in Agave Jaz? That's a problem we could easily solve for you. Truly? I would be most grateful for your immediate assistance. I was resigned to hiring sellswords to clear them out. Factoring in that saved expense and an introduction to a trusted weaver, this is shaping up to be a sound bargain. Alright, you have a deal. Yes, I knew you'd come around. Give us a moment, and Odd and I will take care of those prowling nuisances. In the meantime, I'll use the time to pen an introductory letter to Bolnok. The fields you're looking for are just north of Vanchenbelo. Be safe. Alright, so where are we going? All the way there. Okay. So, northwest. That should be Agave Jaz, just over there. This will go faster if we split up. Come and find me once you've finished clearing out your share of the pests. So we're going to do a bit of fighting. Prickly barb mole. And you're dead. You're next. Nice. Alright. Last one. Come at me! And you're done. You go in the ground. Hey girl. Looks like you took care of them too. Compared to the creatures I hunted with Papa, this was no challenge at all. Come on, let's head back to the distillery. All that's left is to give Mablu the sack of leaves so she can seal the deal. Oh yeah, I guess I never thought about it, but since Wuklamat is using an axe, her class must be warrior. I've tried it, it's fun. Oh. Those monsters were no trouble for you, it seems. Now, if I could just have the sack of leaves. Here you go. Thank you for looking after our precious trading goods. Your monster problem has been resolved, Master Gobli. Here are the mate leaves and a written introduction to Bolnok, as agreed. Then the deal is done. Here, your jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years. Please accept it with my compliments. Yes, we finally have the mezcal. Great work, especially you, Mablu. You were the one that inspired me to come this far, Third Promise. But let's not celebrate until we have the saddle in hand. Mablu, is it? You drive a hard bargain, young peddler. I look forward to doing business with you in the future. Thank you, but truth be told, I'm just a ranch hand, for now. Should I ever become a proper merchant, though, I'll be happy to strike more deals with you. Alright. A premium deal? Done. Excellent trade. All in all, that was pretty easy to do, with all those tasks and all. Okay. Ready to return to Hadley. Even at the palace, I don't think I've held a 10,000 bell of... Even at the palace, I don't think I've held a 10,000 bell jug of anything before. My hands won't stop shaking. Here, you'd better hold on to it until we get to the saddle maker. Ha ha ha! Can you imagine if we dropped it and had to start all over again? Don't even joke about that. Luckily, Havli's place is not far. We just need to head across the plaza. Ah yes, right there. This is it. The trade we've been working towards. The moment I've all been waiting for. Phew, still in one piece. Right, time to make our deal. Get your tools ready, saddler. We've brought your precious mezcal. It can fit in the palm of your hand. Wait, you actually got your hands on a jug? But you had nothing. A few measly clumps of wool. What we had was an aspiring trader with a gift for negotiation. A deal's a deal. Although I'd sooner aid no claimant but Zoroja, I cannot go against the guiding principles of the Belu Belu. The trade is a fair one. I will craft your saddle, Third Promise. Great! Stay and wait if you like. I have all the requisite materials, so this won't take long. Your commission is ready. Catching a wild alpaca is never a simple affair, but you'll have an easier time of it with one of my saddles. Now, if you don't mind, I have other work that needs finishing. Ah, I can taste that smooth mezcal already. We did it! The saddle is ours! And to think we started out with only 100 bell basket of alpaca wool. Mablu, you're gonna be an incredible merchant. Thank you. It makes me so glad to hear you say that, Third Promise. We got what we came for, so let's return to the ranch. The others will be waiting. Feat accomplished. We now have a taming saddle. Cool. Onward! So cute. Off and out. You've acquired the saddle then? Yes, and thanks in no small part to Mablu. Before you rush off to catch an alpaca, though, let me teach you how to saddle one. I'll bring out one of our wild-born friends so you can practice. That's a good idea. I know. This is something I need to learn. She's getting flashbacks. PTSD. Oh, did she do it? Grace sunken gods, I did it! I won! He hardly seemed bothered, much less inclined to spit, as if he was completely accepting of Wuklamat's touch. That's because of the singular scent with which the saddle has been coated. Alpacas find it very soothing. You know, I've never taken a good long look at one of you before, but you're actually kind of cute. Yeah, they are cute. Haha, you're only noticing that? Zoral Zhao, he's back. Ooh, a golden one. Having done exactly what he set out to do. That alpaca he's brought, is it just me, or is it glowing? I've heard tales of such a beast. They say the golden alpaca lives a solitary existence deep in the valley, where it shuns the company of both man and its own kind. How did he manage to snare a prize like that? A beast knows its betters. Faced with overwhelming strength, it will yield rather than risk death. An apt illustration of how greatly the power of the first promise exceeds yours, Wuklamat. Oh, fuck off. Strength alone won't win him our father's throne. I'll be the one to find the Golden City, and then Dural can remain at peace. An everlasting desire for peace can only be forged in the fires of war. To unite as one, the people must be taught. They must suffer the horror and the hopelessness firsthand. Exhaustion from prolonged conflict, the wages of war's merciless nature. These are what moved the clans to join in the founding of Thuliolal all those years ago. Consider the younger generation of this village. Since birth have they basked in unbroken harmony, and behold, they regard war not as tragedy, but opportunity. Thus does the resilient son seek to provide education. He offers much needed lessons in the realities of conquest and a renewed appreciation for peacetime. 'Tis true that war's misery breeds a longing for peace. But I have seen with my own eyes what becomes of an empire forged through the violence you propose, the rebellions it spawned, and the ruins it left behind. It's true. The Garlean Empire was a congregation of simpletons. Yeah, this time will be different. The oppressed fought back against their oppressors, as well they should. Men are not beasts. Only a fool would seek to rule over all with the threat of force alone. This is why Gulu Jaja did not elevate the Mamuja, why he treated all clans with equal respect. However, the first promise has his gaze fixed upon more distant horizons. He He would unite not only Tuliolal, but the star in its entirety. What? Why? I need not explain myself to you. I mean, you're talking about ruling the world, so yes, it is in our interest. Oh, well done indeed. The first promise has completed the feat of gold with an appropriately golden flourish. May I present to you your much-deserved keystone? Just eats it. Ow. He's always been like that, never sharing his innermost thoughts with me or even with Kona. It's like we're not even family. Yeah, he's got to be stopped. I'll ponder Zoral Ja and his mysteries later. Right now, I need to think about finishing the feat of gold. I have my saddle. I've practiced how to use it, so lead on to where the wild alpacas roam. The valley of Urunkanka is northwest of here. Come on, everyone. Even if we can't answer ourselves, we can see Wuklamad off on her hunt. Oh, we can gesture for Wuklamad. We have to cheer her on. Excellent. Chocobo, chocobo, chocobo. I'm on a chocobo. You're on a chocobo. That's the song that Yuffie sings in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's just so catchy for some reason. And we have arrived. I can do this. I know I can. Cheer on Wuklamad as she marshals her courage to attempt the harrowing task of capturing a wild alpaca. Alright, so what you do is, you make sure you're highlighted on the character, you go to emote, and yeah, looks like I have cheer in my favorites. And then, click. And that's how you gesture.
Good luck there, Promise!
Oh, now you talk.
Thanks. I'll need it. Truth be told, still not sure about alpacas. I'd rather not go near one if I can help it. But if I'm to rule this nation, then I'll need to learn how to live with them. Tural is their home too. Right. I'm off.
So, shall we head back to the ranch, or...?
I'm staying here.
As will I. Wuklamart is alone in this. The least we can do is stand watch and await her return.
It may be a while yet. Help me pitch the tent.
Camping. Bring out the
Just a gleaner
s'mores.
to come prepared for anything.
What's a gleaner?
Someone whose job it is to travel the world and procure uncommon things for their employers. Erenville specializes in finding animals, I believe.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, this is the best looking MMORPG out there. I don't care what anybody says, especially with this new graphics update. Like, everyone just looks so great in this lighting too.
But aren't you a Shitona from Shaktural? Why did you cross the salt?
When I was much younger, the thought of leaving Tural never even occurred to me. But then, some years ago, my mentor tasked me with a difficult hunt. Something I could never find, she said, so long as I clung to the familiar. She suggested that I leave home, leave Tural, and join the Gleaners of Sharlian. As one of their number, I could experience the world, immerse myself in myriad cultures and customs, see the many faces of nature. And once I had learned what is truly important, I would find that which I seek. My younger self took those words to heart, and off I went to become a gleaner.
Her words alone moved you to leave behind everything you'd ever known? You must have great respect for your mentor.
As it happens, gleaner work was much to my liking. And I all but forgot why I had pursued it in the first place. Yet, events conspired to put me back on the trail I'd abandoned.
Wait, are you saying you were tasked with finding the City of Gold?
I was. And though my hunt is now entangled with the right of succession, I mean to see it through.
Well then, I understand completely. We all have our reasons for seeking the Golden City. Which is all the more reason for us to work together.
Just so.
Looks like it's morning.
She should have been back by now. What if something's happened to her? We need to tell Tobli and arrange a search party.
Wait. Do you hear that?
There she is.
I did it.
You did it. She needs healing.
You're utterly spent, and small wonder.
Well done, Third Promise.
The ranch isn't going anywhere. Take a rest in the tent.
I think I will. Thank you all for believing in me.
And I hope we get an alpaca mount. Alright. I'm so relieved the Third Promise came back to us safely. And the alpaca she tamed is a healthy-looking beast. Surely this will be enough to satisfy the feat of gold. Yeah. Nice. Alright, we'll take the gold. Or silver, whatever. And finish this up. Wooklamad still seems a bit unsteady on her feet. Hardly surprising after she spent the night chasing alpacas. You know what'll melt away fatigue like magic, though? Mate tea. I'll run to the ranch and get a pot brewing. That way you can take your time, and the tea will be ready when you arrive. As Mablu so wisely suggested, we shall set a slower pace for our exhausted Third Promise. Or, you know, you could let her ride on a mount or something. So she doesn't have to walk all the way. And back to the ranch. Came back ahead of the others, did you? I should hurry along with the tea then. Wooklamad can't be that far behind. Tea. Ooh, that tea really is magical. I feel better already. I see you've become more comfortable around our fuzzy friends. Watching this one taught me a lot about alpacas, what grasses and fruits they eat, what sounds they react to, their adorable little quirks. I guess I've grown kind of fond of them. Welcome back, Third Promise. Accomplished the feat of gold, have you? And the golden alpaca in the back. Yes, there is no mistaking a valley alpaca. I commend you on your success. Well done. Yes, we did it! Although I couldn't find a shiny one like Zoral did. I'd be surprised if you had. Golden alpacas are born but once every few decades. They are elusive, solitary creatures that are rarely seen, much less captured, thanks to their innate physical and magical gifts. Only a single other person is known to have caught one before, that being Gulul Jaja himself. Yeah, her father. Papa was chasing alpacas too? So my grandfather's stories say. It was before the founding of Tuliolal, in a time when the mountain giants, the Yokhui, held our people in thrall. Compelled by their overlords, our forebears would ride their alpaca mounts to the highlands to deliver gifts of food and other tributes. Those were wretched days, to hear grandfather tell it. Then along came the young Gulul Jaja, yet unburdened by the mantle of Dawn servant. Our people were amazed by this imposing two-headed figure, equal to the Yokhui in stature, and puzzled by his entourage of mismatched companions. Some trembled in fear, believing a new conqueror had come. Yet Gulul Jaja showed no such inclinations. He sat and spoke with us, sipping from the cups of mate tea we offered him, and grew somber when he learned of our plight. Oh, so that's what the head on the right looks like. None could have anticipated what their visitor decided to do next. Gulul Jaja ascended the cliffs to face the giants and freed the Pelu Pelu from the Yokhui's subjugation. He then turned an appraising eye upon our riders and proposed we take to the road to peddle our beverages. The suggestion seemed obvious for one who traveled as he did, intent on fostering amity between the clans. So it was that a few words from Gulul Jaja transformed us into a clan of itinerant merchants. I've never heard the bond Papa forged with the Pelu Pelu spoken of in that way before. The saga is not so detailed. Then you may not know that Gulul Jaja sought a sure-footed guide for his trek up into the highlands. Thus did he capture a golden alpaca. So both my brother and my father caught the rarest of creatures, while an ordinary one was the best I could manage. The feat required no more than that, Third Promise, and you brought back a perfectly wonderful beast. Mablu's right. You're a perfectly wonderful beast. If anyone's ordinary, it's me. Not only did you accomplish the feat of gold, you also made many trades and brought joy to many people in true Pelu Pelu fashion. I sorely doubt your sibling could have achieved the same result. You should be proud of the accomplishments which earned you your keystone. Meow. Take it, girl. You earned it. Five more to go. You're well on your way, Third Promise. We'd have been lost without you, Mablu. Thanks to you, I learned so much about the Belu people and your customs. It might seem obvious, but I've come to realize the importance of properly knowing something. It was because I didn't understand alpacas that I was uncomfortable around them. I'm thankful to you as well, Wuklamat. You've given me the courage to say what I wasn't sure I could ever say. Dudley, I want to leave the ranch and become a merchant. I quit. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I've loved every moment caring for the alpacas. But this is something I need to do. I need to walk my own path and make my own trades. As your parent, allow me to say one thing. No. I've always tried to give my wards lives filled with as much happiness as I could provide, yet never once have I wanted that to be the only happiness you knew. You have my blessing to walk any path you choose, Mablu. It gladdens me to hear you found a calling you wish to pursue with such passion. You will make an exceptional peddler, I'm sure of it. Thank you, Dudley. What did I tell you, Mablu? There's one last thing I can help you with, Third Promise. You need to find the Golden City, right? That's the end goal. Then I suggest you talk to the Yokhui. They once ruled over far more than just Urkovacha and the Belu Belu. 1,000 years ago, they were the overlords of Yoktural and all its peoples. During that era, the Belu Belu were commanded to search for a city of gold. They scoured every corner of the continent, but never found any trace of that fabled place. But if they didn't find anything, what could the Yokhui have to tell us? They may not have found it, but the fact that they thought to look for it at all makes me curious. Perhaps there's value in delving into how the legend originated? We lose nothing from asking the question. Besides, if we're determined to follow the path of the saga, we'll be visiting the giants eventually. We're coming for you, giants. Oh, Kryl. I have a question I've been meaning to ask, and since we've finished with the feat, where did you acquire that earring? Oh, she knows something? My earring? Do you recognize it? Do you like it? Yes. Pieces just like it first became fashionable in Yoktural around 20 years ago. Since then, it's become common to wear one as a charm for safe travel. A lucky charm, if you will. Lucky Clover. 20 years ago, right about the time my grandfather made his journey. Yet the Dawn Servant implied the earring was connected to the Golden City in some way. Surely there is more to its significance than simple fashion. If you want to know how it first came to be crafted, I could try to find out. Seeing as it's a regular seller for many merchants, I'm curious to learn about it myself. I would appreciate that very much, thank you. Jumping feet first into the peddler business, eh, Mablu? Right then, that's 2 keystones down. I say we head back to Thuliolal and plan our next move. Farewell for now, and thanks for all your help. I will become Dawn Servant, so make sure you set aside your best mezcal for the occasion. She has a fearsome opponent in that brother of hers. He even brought a golden alpaca to heal. But you've heard Zoral Ja's supporters talk. They might see opportunity in his expansionist ambitions, but they find the man himself intimidating, terrifying even. Whereas I've grown to love Wuklammat, everyone she meets will come to love her too, and that's why she'll win the throne. Yeah, something else real quick. So the Belu people were once enslaved and subjugated to the Yokhui, the giants, right? So it's interesting to think that there's still some Belu who don't see the parallel or don't care to see it if Zoral Ja becomes the Dawn Serpent, right? Then he'll conquer the world, as he said, and make everyone, including the Belu people, subservient again. But you know, that reminds me of real life too. Like there are people in the world who have a history of being oppressed, and I'm not referring to any group particularly, but just in general, like I've seen like communities being oppressed, and then some in that community still rooting for leaders and policies that will just oppress them more. Doesn't make sense, but it happens. So you might be right, Mablu. You might be right. Yeah, of course, we'd love to see Wuklammat win the throne. If there is going to be a ruler, if there has to be a ruler, then it should be her. It feels good to have the feet of gold safely under our belt, even if my victory pales beside Zoral Ja and his shiny golden alpaca. I know I shouldn't let it bother me, and gods know you've all been so supportive, but I want to be strong, or wise, like my brothers, to be a promise that people respect. That's an interesting phrase, to be a promise people can respect. Which is not likely if I stand here carrying on and on about things. Let's move on. Back to Shvalyav Tia with us. The contest has hardly begun. Alright. So back to Thuliolav, and that's where we'll wrap things up for this episode. Gotta love the jazz. Look at us! Hey, look at us. Who would have thought, huh? Not me. Reference. The contest has barely begun, and we already have 2 keystones. Surely even my talented brothers aren't doing this well. We can only hope. Alright. And that's it. Well, let's see what this will say. Okay, so this will be the next feat, so we'll leave that alone for now. And this is where we're going to wrap up this episode. Next time, we'll speak with Wuklammat again and see what the others are doing. Our next MSQ is the success of others. And we'll take it from there. So thank you so much for being here with me. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more. Remember to save your progress, and I will see you in the next video.